Ugh.
So looks like
Probably it.
What was that?
I think that might be it for depth.
Yeah, I wonder if we're hitting them below.
or if we're hitting
Or if
carbonate.
it's carbonate, yeah.
Okay, I'm
Okay,
gonna let
let's
go of it and push it. I mean, well, you tell me what you want to do.
we can, I mean, if you think you
If I
can,
want to push harder, I want to let go of it. Just tap it in with the fingers and not be attached to it.
if it's hitting hard, something hard below.
I don't know. I just don't want to be
Okay, sure.
attached to it, or we'll run over it. So
Okay, sure, you can let go and try to go deeper if you think that that's possible.
bad form to be latching on in a thing and you're pushing that hard.
Well, we wouldn't want to be in bad form.
No.
Yeah, it looks like it's about it now.
So Lila, what do you
take a
do
look
with
at-
your?
No, it's going.
Oh yeah?
All right, that's
Just gotta.
be a nice sample.
Then maybe
Yeah.
you're hitting hitting too berm. We might be too close to the bush itself.
Got some bubbles there.
Yeah, got a bubble.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. That'll be
Bubble.
good.
You think that's good?
Yeah, I think that we're probably hitting a two berm below, and that's probably messing up some of the layering at the bottom of the core, so
Okay.
just take a look at what we've got here.
I need to move up just a tad. I kind of moved off of it.
Gonna come out. Full wide.
Shannon, if you're around, could you come up to the lab?
Up to the van.
I don't know where you'd be. I'm sure you're around somewhere.
Yeah, Mr. Crab, coming in.
Here she is.
Okay, zoom in.
Coming in. Holding. I'll come out with it. That looks pretty good.
Okay, coming
Okay.
around the horn. Is that good? You
Yeah,
happy
that'll
with
do
that?
if we can get that in.
Do you need
Full
me
wide.
to secure the vertical thruster on that side if I'm opening the box
I think
back
that
up?
basket star is okay. So
Okay.
I think we can just leave
I mean,
that be.
put a rock back on top of it, so
Yeah.
it should be okay.
Just, yeah. Okay. Sample mode, draw out.
Yeah.
Beauty. All right, Duran.
Coming in.
Back to dive mode. Put the arm away.
Dive.
Remember to hit the freeze spot. Kill it.
And that was sample number 033.
Thank you for that. So now,
I need a bio break though. I'll
A bio brief?
A bio
Yeah.
break.
Bio break.
See you
Oh,
later.
I am human.
okay. Let's take a little break.
Mute your mic.
Hey, sounds like a good idea. We'll be right back.
Super good time for questions. Someone wants to know, are there any deep sea nudibranchs?
Qualified to answer that.
I was like, actually, our super nudibranch expert is just coming in. Our worm expert. I'm going to tag you in. You're going to be the nudibranch expert now, Shannon. Are there deep sea nudibranchs? What do we know?
You're asking the person who's least familiar with the deep sea. I would assume, because nudibranchs are a very diverse group, that there's bound to be some, but nudibranchs themselves are kind of hard to find in the shallow environment, so I would assume they're often on this, maybe if they're there, they're in the carbonate rock, and so they're not something you're going to see right away. You might have to pick up the rock and search a little more in the cobbles.
Yeah, really not sure there.
Yeah, I'm doing a little search. It says that there are deep sea species.
I would assume.
We have in
5 new species of sea slugs found in the ocean depths.
Okay.
the Pacific Northwest has some just gorgeous nudibranchs.
Oh, yeah.
Alabasters. Which I think are the ones that have like the frosted tip kind of look.
Yes.
There's a giant nudibranch deep sea.
Of course there is.
Yeah, what's up with gigantism in the deep sea? That's not something I would have thought would be easy to sustain.
I love that as a research question. What's up with gigantism in the deep sea?
Very scientific question.
Right.
No, it's great.
Should just be the title of somebody's thesis.
Yeah.
Which episode of Nature was,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
that paper.
it says several of the deep sea nudibranchs they found are often very small and very fragile, so I think they're often difficult to find. But there's a lot of diversity that is
Nice.
undiscovered.
A lot of the things that look like nudibranchs, for our young explorers out there, there are lots of things that have that general body shape and plan that we see down here on the seafloor. So some of the things you might see would be like a sea cucumber, which is the common name for a group called holothurians. You might also hear us, animals have science names, which are their species descriptors, and then they have a whole bunch of different names that describe how similar they are in groups that expand bigger and bigger and bigger. So, one is a species name and then a genus, all the way up to, how we divide the diversity of life into different groups. So some things that look like sea slugs are sea pigs, and we saw some of those earlier. They're kind of tube-shaped animals with little pressure feet, hydraulic little feet called tube feet that push out from there.
Yeah, so there is a giant deep sea nudibranch called the Bathydoris. I cannot say the second half of that name.
Not even going to try. Huh?
Yep, not even going to try. Can you say it, Shannon?
Aosia?
Iosia?
A-I-O.
You're muted, so.
Iosa?
If you say it with
Aoka?
confidence, nobody will question you.
Too many vowels.
Bathydoris was easy. I got that.
080.
But yeah, there's some YouTube footage of that too.
Okay, Bob.
Membari, if you want to check it out.
080.
This is going to be a sample that's split of the tube worm bush. I think, could we take a look at the one in the back if we could? It looks a little bit less developed, let's say, old. And being one of the older ones on the ship, I'm like sacrifice the youngsters, right? Let's leave the.
We could take it, right? We can recover.
And you're probably going to have to plug the whole thing, and then it will be.
Plucking worms?
Well,
Plucking?
they each need several, so.
I mean, we are going to split like 4 or 5 individuals.
So we need 4 or 5 of those little worms.
Yeah. And
So
Where are
whatever.
these going to go?
They can go in any of the bio boxes that are free. Trying to think. If it's not too messy, you could try to go for no, because we have the gas tight, so we want to put those in the forward bio boxes when we come back up. So probably starboard bio box F, or the smaller ones if they'll fit.
Putting the gas sites in the bio boxes?
They have been non-recovery to keep them safe.
Yeah.
Not just throwing them in the crate?
No, yeah, because they're afraid of them getting, you know.
We've lost a couple that way, Bob,
Yeah.
especially in high seas.
Okay. Okay, well, why don't you take the starboard vertical back off
I
again?
don't know, you might have to take the whole bush in this case. I mean, that's
There are
about
Oh,
it.
and we're
9 to
done
10
orbiting,
individuals
right?
there,
And
so
We can try to
kill
take
that.
about half.
you
of
can take about
the bush.
half, yeah.
Okay, so if you could try to take half of it, Bob,
Right.
that'd be great.
Can we describe once again what these are?
Well, let's let the biologist describe what a two-worm bush is.
They're a deep sea worm that's in the annelid phylum, and they use these tubes as they have these like chitinous tubes for protection, and then you'll actually see their interior end, so their head will stick out of the top, and it's usually like more of a reddish pigmentation. Right now with Herc right next to them, they probably sense something's there, so they're probably tucked away in the back of their tube.
When they are also other organisms live with them, right?
Okay, Ed, you want to...
Yeah, they're often symbiotic organisms that live on the
Little
outside
bump.
of their shell, or of their
chitinous
tube.
shell in
yeah.
the tube. And
you
you'll
want me
see.
to come from underneath, or... what's the
Yes,
plan here?
that's,
I would
yeah,
think that's-
underneath the tube, the worm itself will be further down the tube, so the lowest you can get to them, the more likely you are to get the full
more
individual.
towards the center, Bob.
Is that snail egg sticking up on the one? That like corn on the cob?
Yeah.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
is, that is one of those, what's the name of that snail that we see a lot in these communities, and that is their egg.
I just typed the name
Sure.
of that
I was like, it's
yesterday,
a
and
whelk.
it's
Welsh?
not ringing a bell.
Is it a whelk of some type?
It is a
Yeah,
whelk.
yes.
No, they're
yeah.
not all.
There's shrimp down there too. Shrimp associate.
Oh,
All right,
starts with an N.
Want to try a grab down there?
Yeah, the farther
Looking
down, the
good?
better, Bob.
Is that good?
It's like picking a flower.
Yeah, it should, picking from the bottom of the stem.
What are they again?
Sort of it's a blind grab here, but we'll see what happens.
Okay, so we're taking part of this tube-worm bush,
Need a scuffle hoe.
and they're
It's coming down a little bit.
Okay, that grab is too light.
Yeah,
I would just pull it from the bottom, Bob, and see what you get.
I'm just trying to not smush them, so I'm setting the grip force light, but that was too light. Okay, going in.
It's going in. And that is some type of a chemosynthetic
snail.
snail.
Yeah,
Eggs.
because the worms are, so.
Okay, looks like
Got a few.
I would say that's
That
more
sounds
than
like a
that's
pretty
more than a
positive
few.
1, 2,
I'd say
3,
that's
4,
about
5,
five.
6, 7. I think.
Okay, zoom in
5 to
there.
7.
In?
Yeah.
Aye. Holding.
That looks,
You can see
2,
more
3,
brow
4, 5,
bubble
6,
cam.
7.
Yeah.
Sticking with 7.
So that's a good
Got some
That looks
fruit.
like a good clump.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that will probably do, Bob. And you saved the snail eggs too, so that's good so far. Good.
Okay.
And it-
Stove.
It looks like most
Yep.
of the posterior of the tubes is still intact, which is good.
Yeah. It did.
And what are you going to be doing with the sample?
We're going to take tissue subsamples. Well, at least for me, I'm going to grab tissue subsamples, and then Layla has some other collaborators that she's
now.
taking subsamples for. But
Ready?
part of ours will be used for genetics too.
Yeah. Are you gonna be okay
Identify
with
the
dirt
individual.
here? There's gonna be a lot of dirt falling off.
Yeah, that's fine.
That should be fine. Yeah.
So that is
Coming
one
out.
sample that would be
That'll be
subsample?
sample 034.
Yep.
And where are we putting this?
You could put it in F. F is empty.
Okay.
When we do come out here and sample biology, we try not to take too much. But this is the eDNA work that Shannon is doing is going to really contribute to the fact that someday we won't have to come out here and take anything. We'll just be able to identify it by looking at the water above the individuals.
Hopefully we get to that point. I mean, there's so much undiscovered diversity across all
Right.
of our oceans that I think for a while we'll need to sample. But yeah, you kind of got to build up that catalog before you know what the
Exactly.
eDNA is actually telling you.
But that's the purpose. Well, and also there are other things that you actually do need to collect the live organisms for.
Yeah,
like,
we do, in addition to DNA, we have some other sequencing and other genetic methodologies that we use to tell us more about the individual and provide whole genomes for individuals. So these are very understudied organisms, and so the more we know, the better.
right.
Are you waiting for the dust cloud to settle so I can push them in the box?
Yeah, thank you, Shannon. All right. So I think we've settled we're done with that right now.
We're just pushing the little bits into the box so they are fully contained in there.
What are we going to find next? Oh, it's surprising.
Okay. There's one more crossing over from F to E, sort of. You see it?
And that was sample number 034, just for nav purposes.
This dude here.
Yeah, that one.
Stay in there.
Great.
Might be extending past 2. You see it?
Floaty.
So when we've
Get me to
gone
try to
in
close
here
the
and
box and see.
done these cores, we've seen a few bubbles come out of the sediment, so it means that there's a lot of methane in the subsea surface here, the subsea floor. It just doesn't want to show itself right now. Hopefully once we've done our excursion around this feature, this donut-shaped feature, we can return back to the site where we saw the bubble streams a couple of days ago, and maybe it'll turn back on. It's just being elusive and shy right now.
Okay.
Get in there. That look.
Not bad. I think the one on the far end will go in when I close it.
Yeah.
Sample
Okay.
trays coming in.
Nice.
Okay, so
Yeah,
we're
snip the head off of
storing
that
the
one.
samples right now. We've done our first sampling of this dive. And we'll continue after this over to waypoint 2, which is still kind of on the outer edge of this donut-shaped structure. And after that point, we'll step over the top of the rim
Gotta do
and
H check.
go on down into the donut hole, the crater in the center. See what's going on down there.
Okay, 080.
Onward towards waypoint 2.
Yep, 080.
Okay.
Sorry, every time I put a waypoint in, it clears the one that I have selected.
And I'm told that the carbonate that we picked up is actually
basically, I
autogenic
think you're
carbonate
behind me.
bits. So
I think you're
it's
behind
not
me.
Oh.
That's why I had to
Okay.
really
cheat
a huge
to
like
look at
carbonate
you.
platform like we saw the other day. These just sort of form in
How we doing
place.
reps wise? That's all right. Good.
But not a large structure like we saw a few days ago. It's precipitated inorganically in situ.
How far are we going?
We have another 25 meters.
This is down slope.
Bridge nav, 20 meters, 080.
Okay, so we're moving on over, and it looks like we are almost at waypoint 2. It's just sort of an arbitrary pick of a spot, so don't say so.
Lateral right a little there, Bob.
We got a current on me.
There you go.
I
Straight
can't
ahead.
get to
At the end of the rope.
Okay,
Yeah.
This.
Waiting on you.
ship's on the way.
Thank goodness I have my helpers. Okay, so it looks like we've almost reached waypoint 2. I don't think we're seeing much of anything exciting here, so
We're moving. You have leash.
Doing the leash.
now we're seeing. Kind of cleared up after our sampling.
We got lights all messed up.
Okay.
All right, so here we are at waypoint 2, not a whole lot going on.
All right, you are at the waypoint.
Yes. So our next step is going to be, we're going to climb up. We're now on the, basically on the southeastern part of this odd little feature on the seafloor. Now we're going to climb up to the top of the rim, and then we're going to go on down into the center of this
Okay.
crater-like looking feature. So
is
yeah,
that
that's
waypoint 6 here?
no.
Is
We're
waypoint
going.
3?
We're going to move on to waypoint 3.
Okay.
So we want to go on up and see what's at the top, and then see what's at the bottom. And I know you don't really like to go downhill, so that might be a little bit of an issue.
Okay, 305.
Okay. 305.
Is that going to be an issue, Bob? Would you like us to?
I'm just looking at the current. We're just going to be going with the cloud.
Because if it is, we can change the order, and you could come at it from the other side.
Depends on what we end up doing over there, but
we might.
We don't want the wind at our back because all the junk comes in our face.
Right. So you let me know. I mean, we could just go along the rim to the other side and then climb up. You know, go into the.
It depends on how fast we're going. If we're beating the current, then we're okay.
I'm just asking you what would be best.
Yeah, but I don't know yet. So
I didn't draw this out very well.
Throw a wild guess.
Would you
go faster than the current, then we get past this muck. But if we go slow, then.
Well, we don't want to go too fast and miss things, though.
Where's waypoint 4, Chris?
We could proceed to waypoint 6 and 5 and 4 and then go into the caldera that way.
Oh, roger.
So, well, there's a good chance the current's going to change anyway because we're around this thing, right? I don't know.
Okay.
A lot of speculating.
Speculating.
We'll just try it.
You want to try it? Okay.
Okay.
But we do want to, you know, look around, so.
Yeah.
Rat tail.
Bridge nav, 50 meters, 250. Correction, 50 meters, 305.
So let's just go nice and slow and look around, see what we see.
Oh, this is good because the current's kind of going across the basket. How far are we going?
50 meters?
No, it's
a step,
250 meters.
Oh, long way.
Okay, so we're traveling up to the kind of top of this donut-shaped feature. We haven't been up to the top of it yet. We've been kind of hanging out at the on the lower north, southeast side of it.
Are you pulling me?
Argus hasn't really started moving yet, so it's possible.
No hurry.
Yeah.
So more of those autogenic carbonate pieces scattered along this slope. So this is precipitated carbonates. It's not the kind that we drove on the other day that build up over thousands to 10,000s of years. These probably form much more quickly. And they do provide places for like these tube worms and other creatures to attach. Because if they weren't present, we didn't see any of these tube worms or anything like that. Some shell debris. Okay, there's a brittle star. On the seafloor there. They're everywhere. It's a big one.
It's a little shell feature there, right? Something hanging off of it.
Right there. So we're kind of setting up. Okay.
There's a bright white object there that is out of place. Doesn't seem like you would see a...
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you said zoom, so I'm zooming.
Yeah, I did.
It's a shell, thank
Is it a shell?
goodness.
What's a shell doing up here? There's snails, too. There's a big snail.
Did anyone catch what was on the side of the shelf? I see some egg towers over there. I don't know what else is over there on the shelf.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, Neptune, yeah.
Neptunia? Okay, that was those eggs that we saw. I knew it was hidden in there somewhere.
Do you want to go along this ridge thing here or just beeline?
What's that, Bob?
Do we want to follow along this ridge or do we want to beeline to the target?
We want to.
This is a little bit
We were
starboard of where the line is.
We were hoping to go on down into the crater, so
Okay.
no, we don't want to. At this point, we want to go over the ridge and down into the low area here.
Reach nav, 50 meters, 305.
Unless that's going to be a problem. Like I said, Bob, if it's easier to just follow the ridge and then go into the crater from the other side so you don't have to go downhill. There's kind of a little gap in it on the west side. Let me come down there. Hold on a sec.
Yeah, I don't Yeah. 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 Well, the wind's blowing this way, so. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the stuff that we're stirring up right now is just because we were landed, so it's on the frame. It's not because we're bumping into the bottom, you know? It's hard to say. I mean, yeah. Probably. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
But the sediment we were just looking at was just stuff on the frame from setting down. Like anytime we set down, we're gonna get stuff up in there, and when I go up and down, that's when it's really gonna come off of there and make a mess. So yeah, yeah.
Bridge nav, 40 meters, 061.
061.
061.
No, that was bridge. That's not you guys.
Oh, eyes. Okay. What would you like?
Sorry, give me. You're going to be going due north.
Due north.
Eye.
We have vehicles everywhere right now.
Yeah.
You might want to wait. Argus is like kind of strung way out. I'm trying to get back on top, so you can kind of start moving forward somewhat, but Argus might tug you to the left.
Okay.
I'll just hang. I'm gonna just hang.
Yeah, I'm just going to backtrack here, actually. Bridge nav, cancel last move, and new move, 5 meters, 090.
Who is that?
Sound like Dan.
No, it was George.
Uh-oh.
He's fiddling.
Zero 090.
So we kind of decided to reorder our waypoints so that we don't drop right down into this little feature, the hole in the donut here. We're going to climb along the ridge, the rim, so that we don't stir things up and that we
Oh,
can
sorry. Yeah, I got pulled away.
come in at the center of this feature from the low point and then climb up the ridge. It won't stir up as much sediment. And it's probably a better way. I should have thought about that when I ordered the dive points. But okay, so what was waypoint 6 is where we're heading to now.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to travel along the eastern and northern rim of this feature. And then when we get to the northwestern
So you just
side.
North?
Yeah, you're going to be moving north, yeah.
We're moving
I mean,
north.
you're just
Well, no,
No.
I'm coming back east
Oh, okay.
to get the...
Yeah, so Bob, we just kind of want to travel around the rim of this.
Yep.
It'll be the
I
east
just
and the northern side.
waiting for the ship to move to the east so I can get up there.
You're right under me, I think. We're in my down cam.
Yeah, on the edge of the picture, though.
Yeah, but I'm facing the right
I
way. Can you
remember
get over to the left?
Getting. Just, there's a big range.
Till then.
So I need to go that way.
No, I'm trying to catch up with you, right? Like,
Yeah, I need to get up on the rim, so that's more easterly.
Roger.
Just up here.
All right, now I can start heading straight for the waypoint.
Okay, so we're setting up to just, all right, here we go. So we're traversing around the rim.
Bridge nav, 40 meters, 02.
Okay. So the way we're heading,
Right with the world now.
off to the left,
I
for
guess
people
so.
at home, will be our dip that would go down into the center of this little feature towards what we're calling crater, or the donut hole. And off to the right is the area where we already climbed uphill. So the outer edge of this feature. So we're just going to ride along the rim here and see what we see.
Okay, so 6, 5, 4 is up this way, right? Yeah, 4. Yeah, so. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yep, sounds good.
See, now all is right in the world. We're lined up.
That's just your world.
I don't like being dragged sideways through the ocean.
Okay, front row, people want to know, why is the left arm rarely used?
Breach nav, 20 meters, 000.
Because Herc is right-handed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically it. Oh, then The reason is the left arm doesn't have nearly the dexterity. It has the same range of motions, but it's like you can only control it one or two joints at a time. Whereas the starboard arm, you can move everything at once. The advantage of the port arm is that you can hold on to things and turn off the hydraulics to it, and it stays put. So that's handy for holding things.
As you'll see on our next leg.
Yeah, but not so handy for trying to, do fine manipulation. Yeah. There's different schools of thought on that. I mean, ideally, I guess we'd have two dexterous arms that could do all kinds of stuff and hold on to things when you wanted them to hold on to things.
And had cameras in the wrist, maybe?
Yeah. But those arms are also heavier, so you got to compensate for that.
How much heavier?
I think they're like 70 pounds heavier than the starboard arm. So again, we get into you need more foam and bigger frame, they're stronger, you need a bigger, stronger frame, everything, it just cascades and So there's trade-offs to doing things like that. So a lot of the work we do is where you got to get in close and not stir up the bottom. And bigger vehicles don't do that as well.
Okay, so our plan is just to travel along the rim of this feature. Like I said, off to port or left is the would be the crater of this ringed feature, and off to the right or starboard would be the base, where it meets just the regular old seafloor out here. And we're seeing
20 meters, 340.
A few sea stars here and there, and you can see it's quite a quick drop off to the port side.
Folks want to know which arm is stronger.
Boy.
Do we need to, I was going to, like, do we need to define?
I need my handy book of Hercules, but
I would say my left arm is strong, and my right arm is
just do an arm
stronger.
wrestle. Yeah.
yeah, it probably depends on the joint you're talking about. Like, yeah.
Well, my right arm is stronger because I broke my left wrist.
So when we talk about which joints do you mean? Like the shoulder, is that the strongest?
Oh boy.
Are you stronger? Are you stronger? Is the arm stronger down before it gets all the way extended, or is it not that linear?
Yeah, I mean, obviously when you extend further out, then you have more forces on it, right? It's harder for the elbow or the shoulder joint to move up and down, right?
We're talking
It's just like a crane. When you extend the boom out, you lower your rating on it.
not seeing a whole lot
I
here.
believe that you can pick up like 200 pounds at full extension. I believe both arms are capable of about the same amount.
Just some scattered autogenic carbonates, some sea stars. Not a whole lot of life up here. Unless you see something I don't. Data ran.
Yeah, not seeing
You want me
much.
to change anything?
Seeing a few sea pens and
you could change the heading a little bit.
Okay.
I'm just going to stay on this heading.
And we've stirred up the seafloor a bit,
Nav,
so
15 meters,
we're
320.
not seeing much.
But we're not stirring up the bottom. We're just, there's, like I said, there's stuff on the frame from landing, and it's just, as we get jerked, that stuff falls out. It's gonna be there. So the less we land, the better, but you can't really sample without landing.
Can you go up in the water column and shake it off?
What are we checking out?
And shake it off?
Car wash.
Well, we don't have a tremendous amount. It's just little puffs, right? It's not really bad.
It's making it hard to see. I can't hardly see the seafloor.
Well, I can
Get lower.
try coming down some.
Thanks, Bob.
But every time I get a little jerk, it's gonna kick off a little dust. And it looks like we're kind of in the current, so it's not blown away from us, it's with us.
I feel like I'm on a foggy Oregon coast day here. Of course, we are off the Oregon coast, so. Not a whole lot to look at anyway, I guess, but we wouldn't want to miss anything. Oh, sea star.
Breach nav, 40 meters,
Is
345.
that bright thing on the seafloor? Yeah. Must be another shell, I think, probably.
Kylie, you want to try turning off the porch light and see if it's better?
Porch is off.
That better?
That helps. Can you pull the basket in?
That's we could get rid of all the junk on the front, and then we could see better. That's all the way in.
Oh,
The camera's all the way out, and the basket's all the way in.
okay. That's better, though. Thanks.
Got some shells or carbonate over on port.
Oh my, something interesting coming up here. Let's take a peek.
Some snails.
Some more scattered carbonate. It's on the seafloor.
Directly between the laser's upper frame, there's something sticking up.
Something what?
Sticking up on the seafloor. Could be a snail egg
Yeah,
tower or like an anemone. I don't think it's a plumose anemone, but I can't tell. It's covered up here.
So,
yeah, it looks like maybe an anemone.
now these carbonate pieces and
Coral.
yeah, I think that's an anemone up ahead. It looks really big. We're seeing some
The shadow of the samplers on the basket are like, it's like mystery
Oh yeah.
Gator 3000.
Yeah. Can't imagine what they'd say.
a little bit of shell fragments. That is an anemone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a Venus flytrap.
Flytrap.
Yeah.
It's resting. A couple of shrimp up ahead. I haven't seen any of those for a while.
one on the port side. Yeah, it's pretty big. Oh, there's two of them.
Two guys, yeah. Well, that was exciting. Oh, one of those sea pigs off the port. Looks like we might have something off to starboard as well. Some more similar.
Chris, here's a super detailed nav question that I don't know the answer to. When you're calling in a ship move and you're moving 50 meters, is that marked from the, what portion of the ship is it measured from? From, you know, the bridge to the bridge marking that spot, or is it actually connected back to the
that's clam bed here?
That's actually something we have a choice over. So when we're
Ed, you want to zoom in?
when we're diving, we prefer the reference point of the ship to be the wire, the Argus wire. So when you hear me calling in ship moves during a dive, we're moving the wire location.
You mean the wire on the back deck?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
so
where the reference
basically
point is. So they can, so if they rotate the ship or they move the ship or do anything, everything happens around that point.
Okay, zoom out.
Coming out. Where the wire enters the water.
Right.
Something over here to the left.
Yeah.
But if we're doing multi-beam work, the reference point is wherever they have their...
Well, yeah, it's a sort of a different, the ship's reference point is at
Different
the CPATH, the motion sensing unit. But in terms of the control point, yeah, that's referenced differently. Or that's what we're referencing when we call in ship moves. Speaking of which.
Oh, there's a different fish. We need to move the ship, Chris.
Bridge nav, 40 meters, 315.
Do you know what that fish was? And if it's our tail. And we're continuing along the rim of this feature. We can. Hard to see.
All right, Bob, your next waypoint. 295.
295?
Yep.
Okay.
So we have to move the ship. Can't get too far ahead of it. So we're just going to continue along with this feature.
Yeah, so that's kind of roughly the direction. If there's any kind of ridge or feature that we can see to follow, I guess that's the plan.
Yep. So we're at waypoint 5, will just be...
Yeah, it might be better for now, at least according to the map here, to maybe do 320.
Yeah, I would get closer to the edge of the crater so that you know where you are right here, just